So I was talking to you about the origin of my concepts and how I'm actually shedding the complication from the new collection. And this season I'm doing a capsule collection, i.e. that's why they were encapsulated. And the new collection is called the Moon Set. And I actually hesitate to call it a collection. I'm calling it this season a jewelry etude. Because when I was studying music, I used to do a lot of variation on themes and interpretations and sonatas and all of these types of things that you'd look at the original and then you'd reinterpret it. So this collection is called a jewelry etude. And I'm going to show you some of the pieces. It's not the entire collection. But what I'll do is I'll start with the original idea and then I'll pull it through into the jewelry etude. And the title of the collection is the Moon Set. Because as women, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women in the house, I bet you anything someone could howl at the moon right now. Because we're all so attracted to the moon and its lunar feminine energy.
And my sign is ruled by the moon. Libra.
Is it?
Yeah.
See? It's stuff like that. Like, it's you just like, whoa. I'll be on my bike and I'll see the moon and I'll completely forget I'm riding my bike.
That's dangerous.
I know it's
And
and then I fall over. But at the same time, it was all worth it because at that moment I was totally taken away. And so the moon is a super influential guide for me. And so, and also like Katie and I throw a lot of events and parties, and so it's not exclusive to New York. It's a global feeling. So if it's a global thing, it's a universal thing, and I'm thinking celestially. I'm thinking of a huger picture than just tiny, tiny little pieces. I want to be able to impact not just people, but the world around them. And the situations, the experience, it's not just about each product, it's about the story unfolds, in that it's not just my story unfolding, it's actually all of our experiences pulled into one tangible product. So with, for example, with the new Moon Set Jewelry Etude collection, I've laid out some pieces that Bliss has helped me set up, like a little appetizer. This piece right here is an original. This is the Handlit, and this is a journey from defining what a ring is, because I specialize in rings. I want to be able to redefine what that is. So a ring goes around something. So what I did is I said, I have this bar ring that's a super popular silhouette that I made 11 years ago. It's a single finger fit and a multi-finger look. Now it's become a popularized, not only trend, but sort of a staple in most jewelry collections today. So if I have that much influence, I want to be able to make scaled back simple things, because I'm going to leave it to other people to embellish. So with this one, this Handlit, what I did, this is from the Il Futuro collection. For the Moon Set, what I did is I withdrew some of the mass. So I took out this little point here. So instead of being sort of Wonder Woman-y, what I did is trimmed it. So now it's just a line. So it still is parallel, literally, with the bar ring, just brought down onto the hand, because I'm also about discovery, not just about the body, but about oneself. And so the possibilities started here with the bar ring 11 years ago, and each season I can reinterpret them, and now what I've done is brought the silhouette further down onto the hand. So it's still defined as a ring, because it's going around my hand, but I call it a Handlit, because I want to be able to use that and keep developing it season after season after season. So this is the new Moon Set Handlit. Then what I did with these pieces, this is a knuckle ring. This knuckle ring is intended to go above and underneath the knuckle, and then because it's an X, then the fingers and flesh can bend around that little point, like a fulcrum, like a seesaw. So a lot of this little childhood ideas manifest into a lot of my work. So you see that this piece, in addition to this piece, because I'm all about stacking, I'm all about diversifying your look. So what I wanted to do in my head, I was like, okay, I gotta take this and break it apart, literally, break it apart, and then I'm gonna put it back together. So what I did was put these two pieces together, like that. So now instead of 4, we have 8 arms. And so this was the new developed piece. And so if you turn this guy around, then I realize there's going to be extra weight here that's going to boost the price up, and I don't need it to be super through the roof. So what I did was carve out some negative space, a hole. So with this extra negative space, I use it throughout my work. So it's one idea that continues throughout my collection. So this piece is part of the new moon set collection, and you wear it, and I'll show you. And once again, you can stack. This is a 14 karat gold piece with diamond tips, and you keep adding on top. Voila. And voila. So now you have several years of thought, and you can still bend your finger. Because of that fulcrum, it means that your body can still function. And something that I really focus on is being able to function. So here, once again, you see negative space, which we do squeeze to fit. And you also see negative space here. So what I did for the next piece, Then I have this original piece, which is the nail ring, which if I were to go off about what's happened to this idea, it would be a long story.
It's been copied by people, in other words.
But it's fine. It's totally fine. Leave it to me to create the original idea, and I leave it to the fast fashion to popularize the trend. So come here for new trends, guys. So here, inspired by my childhood, once again, I have a lot of those moments that I play into my work, because all of us have been children before. When I was a little girl, I wanted to feel more feminine, so I put lead press-on nails on. So when I was actually a woman, I said, so now, how do I make this feminine? So I made it in gold, and I made it squeezable, and I made a little serpent on there. So basically bringing the Adam and Eve thought, bringing the femininity from childhood, making it wearable, squeezable, and basically the voyage of this one started here. And then with the Moonset collection, once again, taking out some of the mass, simplifying the concept, and then bringing it here. So you have this, and it has no serpent. So it matches. Matches this shape.
Bliss brings a few pieces in.
Where are you finding those?
It's here.
Oh, cool. So this piece is now the new Moonset nail ring. It's called the Sleek Nail. And then from there, I've developed a piece that's called the Isis ring. There's lots of iconic imagery with the goddess of fertility and the moon. And since I am a denizen of the night,
I've heard.
I developed this because there's this imagery of a moon with Isis's horns coming around them. So basically I think about embracing the night, and then I apply it into embracing the finger. So once again, using the negative space to fit, you put this on here and then you squeeze to close, and it becomes your own custom fit piece. And this one reminded me of you because the scarab ring that you have with the wings that go back, it has the same effect. So this is another piece that's been erected from that collection. Then so this is the Moonset Jewelry Etude. There are a couple of pieces missing, but another idea that I had that's been redeveloped for this collection is this piece, which is a 2-piece stackable. And once again, I stack a lot of objects, and then what you do is sort of pull them over. Inspired by fish scales, you see their fluid movement without getting macro, so now you can actually compartmentalize and break them apart and wear them. So this is another popular type of teaching, education that I'm doing, because it's all about education.
Are you still working with kids? Remember you did
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'm always trying to find a new way and explore new ways of communicating what I do. And when I talk about my childhood, one season for the Il Futuro collection, I worked with the class of 11-year-olds, and I mentored them, brought them all of this expensive jewelry studded in diamonds, gold, drip, 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 and then
Something else came through.
it's like Thank you, Bliss. This is one of the bar rings. So you see the horizontal, and then you
A
see...
night in Paris.
Garlic.
Liz and Jules.
There you go. So yes, I worked with some kids.
That's great.
And when they were they instinctively took it and they did this. They were like, this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then you see them and they're dripping in Jules. And what I wanted them to do was to tell me what they thought first. Because editors can tell me and buyers can tell me their feedback all day. But what I wanted was raw feedback. I don't want a jaded adult who's been working in the industry for 20 years to tell me what she thinks. So I gave it to 11-year-olds, and they were like, oh my God, you know Beyonce? Tell her Shaniqua Jarvis says, hey. You know, like there's all of these types of things that come out of their mouths that are completely unedited. And I was crying. At the end of the couple of times I was hanging out with them, I was literally crying. Because it's something that we can never get back. Our enfance, our childhood. And for me, when I put on jewelry, it's reinforcing the fact that it's still always going to be there, and it's always going to be a part of me, and it's a part of everyone here and everyone in the world. So for me to reevaluate and to constantly go back to the rawness of who we are, and then put them into these tangible, expensive haute gamme jewelry shapes, then that's when we can really define who we are, because the choice comes from our past. So it's all these woven little corners and dark passages woven into these objects. And I think I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine last night about how, I want to be able to affect people. I want to be able to affect not only their style, but what motivates them. And motivating factors are our choices, things that influence what we're going to eat in a minute, what we're going to drink now, what we're going to smoke later, what we're going to listen to.